I'm 83 years old, and I need to tell you something that's been eating at me for decades. Everything you think you know about balancing work and family is completely wrong. You've been told that if you work hard, your children will understand, your spouse will forgive, and one day it'll all be worth it. But here's the truth. While I was building a life filled with promotions, bonuses, and recognition, I was destroying the lives of the people I loved most. You see, I chose work. Every meeting, every late-night project, every just one more year became another brick in the wall separating me from my children. And by the time I realized what I had done, it was too late to fix any of it. I have success. People call me accomplished, respected, even admired. My name is known in boardrooms I once dreamed of walking into. But those accolades sit in a cold, empty house. The laughter of my children doesn't echo here. Their birthdays, their graduations, the small victories I promised I wouldn't miss, they happened without me. And now, when I finally have time, when I finally long to be present, I find the chairs around my table empty. I look back and I see the cost, though I can't undo it. I see the drawings shoved into drawers, the letters I found years too late, the silent dinners that were filled with hope on one side and absence on the other. I see it all, and I know the truth. My work didn't give me joy. It gave me numbers, titles, and hollow pride. What matters most, the faces I loved, the moments I swore I'd be there for, slipped through my fingers like sand. But before I tell you what happened, you need to understand something crucial. This isn't just my story. It's a warning. Time doesn't wait. Your children don't pause for promotions. Your spouse doesn't rearrange the calendar for your career. And success, well, success without love is an empty room echoing with regret. It all began in 1979. I was 36 years old, ambitious, hungry, and convinced that the life I wanted for my family could only come through endless work. My wife, Margaret, was patient then, always smiling, always telling me, once we're settled, everything will be easier. I believed her. I needed to believe her. At the time, our eldest, Emily, was 7. I remember rushing out one morning, tie crooked, briefcase in hand, while she waved goodbye with a crumpled drawing she had made for me. "Daddy, will you come to my recital?" she asked. I kissed her cheek and said, "Just this once, Em. I have a meeting, but I'll come next time." That recital was the first of many moments I missed. Our second, Daniel, was only 3. I missed his first steps. Margaret didn't say much that evening, just quietly placing his tiny shoes on the shelf. She said, "It's okay, we're building our future." I nodded, pretending that his little milestones could wait until I'd made it. In those early years, friends warned me too. My colleague, Richard, said over lunch one day in '82, "Don't let the kids grow up in your absence. You'll regret it." I laughed. "Richard, I'm doing this for them. Sacrifices now, happiness later," I said. I believed that. I told myself the same lie every single day. I'd go on business trips, work late into the night, even miss family dinners, all in the name of providing. I kept mental notes of all the promises I would fulfill later. Birthday parties, school plays, soccer games, I would be there someday. But life has a way of moving faster than we plan. Emily's voice changed from cheerful to cautious. Daniel started speaking less about me, stopped asking when I'd be home. And Margaret, her patience remained, but there were shadows in her eyes I chose not to see. Little things piled up, lunchboxes with hurried notes I barely read, photos sent in envelopes that sat unopened, phone calls that went to voicemail, or worse, to silence. And I told myself, it's okay, soon it will all be worth it. Soon I'll make it up to them. That's the lie I told myself for 20 years.
1985. Emily was 13. I missed her first school dance. She had begged me to come, and I promised, just this once, I'll be there. But a last-minute client meeting came up, and I stayed. I told myself she would understand. She didn't. I came home that night to find her diary on the kitchen counter. Inside, in neat handwriting, she had written, "Daddy doesn't care about me. Maybe one day he will." I folded the diary closed, feeling a flicker of guilt, but quickly buried it under work calls and spreadsheets. 1988. Daniel was 12. His baseball team had made it to the regional finals. Margaret reminded me for weeks. I promised I wouldn't miss it for the world. And yet, I did. I told myself the company needed me, that my presence in that boardroom would ensure our future. Daniel's team won, and I wasn't there to see it. I didn't even see his joy in photographs. Margaret placed them in an album labeled "Without Dad." 1992. Emily was 20. She graduated high school. I called to congratulate her. She said nothing about missing me. She simply said, "Thanks, Dad. I'll see you at dinner." When I arrived, she barely looked at me. Daniel, 15, had stopped asking when I'd be home. The gap between us had widened so slowly that I hadn't noticed it forming, but now it yawned like a canyon. 1995. Emily moved away for college. I promised to visit, to call every week, to be there. But my travel schedule was relentless. One missed call became 2, then 4, then silence. When I finally spoke to her on the phone, she sounded polite but distant, like a guest at my own home. Daniel had started ignoring my texts altogether. 1998. Daniel turned 21. His wedding was coming up. Margaret whispered, "He wants you there, but only if you can truly be present." I misinterpreted it as a gentle nudge to attend, not realizing she meant emotionally, not just physically. I showed up for an hour, smiling in photographs, giving a toast rehearsed in the car. But I saw the disappointment in Daniel's eyes, the subtle glance Emily gave me that said more than words ever could. 2001. Emily had her first child. I promised to be there for every milestone, the first steps, the first words, the birthday parties. I vowed not to repeat the mistakes of my past. But business travel, meetings, deadlines, all excuses. By the time I returned, someone else had stepped into the role I should have cherished. Emily didn't scold me. She simply thanked me politely and carried on, as if I were a distant relative visiting once a year. By the time I realized the pattern, my children had stopped expecting me. They didn't call to share small victories. They didn't leave little notes. They didn't ask me to attend recitals or games. I would find letters tucked away years later, confessions of hurt, drawings of me absent from family pictures, snapshots of milestones I had promised to see. I rationalized it constantly. Just a few more years. Once I hit this goal, they'll understand. I'll make it up to them later. I'm doing this for them. But those excuses were lies I told myself, and every promise I broke carved deeper into the chasm between us. By the early 2000s, I was a stranger in my own home. Emily, Daniel, Margaret, they had learned to live without me. And I, stubborn and blind, believed that love could be postponed, that presents could be bought later with success, recognition, and material things. It took decades to see the truth. The moments I missed were gone forever. And with them, the closeness, the laughter, the shared life I thought I was building for them had been replaced with polite distance and quiet disappointment. It was March of 2005. I was 62. Emily had called a week earlier, saying she wanted to talk. I thought it would be casual, a catch-up, perhaps a coffee. I couldn't have been more wrong. I arrived at her apartment downtown, briefcase in hand, expecting smiles, maybe a little laughter. Instead, I found a quiet tension in the air. Emily's apartment smelled faintly of vanilla and baby powder. Daniel was there too, sitting stiffly on the couch, arms crossed. Margaret stood by the kitchen counter, face pale, eyes tired. "Sit down, Dad," Emily said, voice tight. "We need to be honest with you." I nodded, heart pounding. "Of course. What's this about?" I tried to keep my tone light, rehearsing the excuse I always had ready. "I've been busy, but it's for all of you." Emily looked at me, her eyes shining, not with joy, but frustration. "You promised you'd be there, Dad, every step, every milestone, and you weren't, not once, not twice, for decades." I opened my mouth to respond, to explain, but the words sounded hollow even to me. Daniel's voice cut through. "We learned to stop expecting you. You weren't there when it mattered, and now when we need you, it's too late." Margaret finally spoke, voice trembling. "We've been living in a house where someone was supposed to be present, and it wasn't you. We survived, yes, but we survived without you. And you can't buy back the years you missed." I felt my chest tighten. My hands shook. I looked around at the people I loved most in the world and realized something that hit me like a freight train. I was a stranger, a visitor, a man who had all the accolades, all the wealth, all the recognition, and none of the connection I had promised my family. Emily's voice softened, almost breaking. "We don't hate you, Dad. We just don't know how to trust that you'll ever really be here. You're in all the photos, but you weren't in the memories, and memories matter more than photos." I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream. I wanted to undo every boardroom decision, every late night, every missed recital. But I couldn't. I had built walls with my own hands, and now I could only stare at the cracks. That day, I understood the full weight of my choices. The missed games, birthdays, graduations, they weren't just events. They were pieces of my children's lives, moments I could never reclaim. And with that understanding came a sharp, unbearable clarity. My work had won, yes, but it had taken my family from me, and there was no undoing it. I left their apartment that evening, carrying the hollow sound of polite words, faint smiles, and gentle silences that masked years of hurt. The house I returned to was quiet, still, empty. I had everything I thought I wanted, and it had cost me everything I truly needed. After that day, life became a quiet, painful rhythm. I had climbed every ladder, won every award, signed every contract, but none of it mattered in the spaces where it counted. The office congratulated me, strangers admired me, but at home there was only silence. I tried to reach out. I sent letters to Emily, carefully worded emails to Daniel. I called on birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. Sometimes Margaret answered the phone, her voice polite but distant. "It's nice to hear from you," she would say, and I could feel the space between us stretching further with every syllable. I attempted to make up for the lost years. I flew across the country to attend Emily's wedding, thinking that presence alone might undo the decades. I was wrong. She smiled at me politely, thanked me for coming, and introduced me to friends as my dad. That word "dad" felt hollow in her mouth, as if she were testing it, hoping it still fit. Daniel's wedding was similar. I gave a toast I had spent hours preparing, but the eyes I sought, eyes that once looked to me for guidance, love, approval, looked past me. Even my grandchildren are distant. I send gifts, I attend recitals, I laugh politely at their jokes, but the warmth, the closeness, the shared joy, they are strangers to me. I watch from the sidelines, a guest in the very family I helped bring into the world. They love me, I think, in the way one loves an acquaintance, not a parent. Margaret and I are civil now, pleasant, but we're not close. We exchange notes on birthdays, brief conversations about logistics, polite smiles at family gatherings. I see the lines in her face, the subtle sadness she no longer hides, and I know that I am partly the cause. I have everything money can buy: houses, cars, accolades, even a reputation that would make younger me proud. And yet I am completely alone. The sound of my own footsteps in the hallway is deafening. The laughter I long for echoes only in memory. Some nights I find myself looking at old photographs, Emily as a child, Daniel with a baseball glove, Margaret smiling patiently. I remember the birthdays I missed, the dinners I skipped, the promises I broke, and I wonder if any of them truly remember me as their father, or only as the man who wasn't there when it mattered. The irony is cruel. I spent decades chasing security, success, and prestige, thinking it would bring my family closer. Instead, it built walls, deep and cold, between the people I loved and me. And now, when I finally have the time to be present, I have nothing but empty chairs, polite smiles, and memories of moments I can never reclaim. Here's what I learned too late. The lie we all believe is that success, wealth, or status can replace presence. We tell ourselves, "I'll make it up later. I'm doing this for them." But here's the truth. It doesn't work that way. Time doesn't pause. Children don't wait. And love, real love, remembers everything. I spent decades believing that if I provided, if I achieved, if I built a name and a fortune, my family would forgive my absence. I was wrong. My company doesn't care about the hours I worked or the sacrifices I made. The promotions, the bonuses, the accolades, they don't remember my missed birthdays, the first steps, the small triumphs that mattered most. Family does. friends do. The people you love, the ones whose lives intertwine with yours, they remember every promise broken, every recital missed, every game unattended. They remember the emptiness, the absence, the times you chose work over them, and no amount of money, gifts, or late apologies can erase it. The cruel irony is that what you think you are building for them, the house, the car, the prestige, is meaningless if you aren't there for them. Presence is more valuable than presents. Attention more precious than awards. Time spent together more important than a bank account full of accomplishments. Here's the lesson I wish I had learned at 30, 40, even 50. Achievements are temporary. People are permanent. The joy, the laughter, the small fleeting moments, the bedtime stories, the soccer games, the quiet talks over dinner, those are the memories that last. Those are the moments that shape lives. Everything else, no matter how impressive it seems, fades. So here it is, plain and simple. Success means nothing if you are absent. Recognition doesn't matter if you are invisible to those who need you most. You can build the world, but if your children, your spouse, your loved ones grow up without you, you will be wealthy in things and poor in what matters. Time is the one currency you cannot earn back. Every day you choose work over love, every missed moment, every broken promise, it's gone forever. And you will only realize the cost when it is far too late. If I could tell my 35-year-old self one thing, I'd shout it across the years. Stop. Stop choosing work over birthdays. Stop missing recitals and school plays. Stop convincing yourself that there will always be a later to be present. Stop thinking that success can buy love or repair absence. Stop ignoring the little moments, the tiny hands holding yours, the drawings tucked into lunchboxes, the quiet questions whispered at bedtime. Stop believing that love is guaranteed, that patience is endless, that your absence won't leave scars. Start paying attention. Start putting down the briefcase, turning off the phone, and listening. Start showing up, not just physically, but fully, emotionally, in every way that matters. Start cherishing the ordinary days, the mundane conversations, the laughter and tears that seem small at the moment, but build the foundation of a lifetime. Start prioritizing presence over prestige. Start making memories instead of schedules. Start choosing love, even when work seems urgent, even when deadlines scream, even when the world tells you that ambition comes first. If I could go back, I'd remind myself that perfection is impossible, but that doesn't matter. Being present, being human, being there for the people you love, that is what counts. One soccer game, one school play, one bedtime story can mean more than a promotion, a title, or a house full of things. Because here's the truth I've learned too late. Achievements are temporary, but presence is eternal. The moments you share with your children, your spouse, your loved ones, they become memories, they become stories, they become the glue that holds lives together. Everything else, no matter how impressive, is fleeting. Stop missing life. Start living it with the people who love you, because no accolade, no bonus, no success can replace the sound of your child calling your name or the warmth of your spouse waiting for you at the kitchen table. That is the one thing I would have done differently. That is the lesson I hope you never learn too late.
I see you out there, working late again, missing dinner again, telling yourself just one more project, one more meeting, one more year, and then I'll be there. You're lying to them. And worse, you're lying to yourself. You think they'll wait. You think your career will forgive you for skipping Little League games, for missing birthdays, for not being present when they needed you most. But they won't. Time doesn't slow down. The clock keeps ticking, whether you're at your desk or at the office, whether you're building your empire or chasing someone else's dream. Every missed recital, every forgotten bedtime story, every canceled dinner, that moment is gone forever. There will always be another email, another deadline, another opportunity, but there won't be another chance to hear your child's laugh when they're 7. There won't be another chance to see the pride in their eyes at graduation. There won't be another chance to hold their hand when they fall or cheer for them when they win. Stop fooling yourself with excuses. I'll make it up later. They'll understand. I'm doing this for them. No, you're doing it for yourself, and you're costing them years you can never give back. You still have time, not much, but enough. Enough to show up for the little things, enough to be present before the distance becomes permanent, enough to make memories that will last longer than any bonus or promotion ever could. Close your laptop, go home, be there, listen, laugh, participate, watch the games, attend the recitals, answer the questions, even the ones you think are small or unimportant, because small moments are what life is made of. Don't wait until regret is the only company in your house. Don't wait until they've stopped expecting you. Don't wait until the cost is too high. Be present now. Be human now. Be their parent, their partner, their friend now. And when you look back, you'll thank yourself, because the moments you choose today, the moments you are there for, are the only ones that truly matter. I'm 83 years old now. I have accolades, wealth, a reputation that once made me proud, and yet I am empty inside. I have everything money can buy, and none of the presents I spent decades neglecting. I would give it all for one more bedtime story with Emily, one more baseball game with Daniel, one more quiet evening with Margaret, just as we were in the early days. I would trade every promotion, every award, every material possession for the sound of their laughter filling the house, for the warmth of their trust, for the small, fleeting moments I thought I could postpone. But I can't have that. Time doesn't go backwards. The birthdays I missed, the graduations I skipped, the conversations left unsaid, they are gone forever. My children, my spouse, they've learned to live without me, and I have learned too late that success without love is hollow. So here is the final wisdom I carry. Presence matters more than presence. Love is more valuable than legacy. Memories shared and lived together are what endure. Everything else, even the things we chase most relentlessly,
fades. I can be grateful for the life I built. I can mourn the life I missed. And in that quiet, I understand one thing with absolute clarity. Achievements mean nothing if the people who matter most grow up, live, and age without you. Time lost can never be reclaimed. Presence lost can never be bought. And that is the truth I will carry with me for the rest of my days.
I see you scrolling through your phone, thinking you have time. You don't. Every moment you spend distracted, every dinner missed, every game skipped, it's gone forever. Close your laptop, leave the office, go home, be present, listen, laugh, play. Watch the little victories, the small moments, the fleeting glances that mean more than any promotion ever could. If this makes you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is the warning your future self will thank you for heeding. Don't wait until regret is the only sound in your house, until your children smile politely but don't expect you anymore. Show up today. Hug your child. Call your spouse. Sit at the table. Really sit and be there. Don't postpone presence. Don't substitute achievement for love. And when you do, take a moment to ask yourself, if not now, when? If not you, who? Because time is moving, life is happening, and the moments you miss now, you can never get them back. So tell me, what moment will you choose to be present for today?